Hey boys, Paul with you here today. You know, I got a lot of questions or requests specifically on this topic. Would you tow with the cruise control on and the exhaust brake? You know, I can see the concern, and I can see why people would be asking as far as misleading information. Now, question of the day: what does it really mess with? How does it really mess up your truck, or would it mess up your truck? I'm going to share my point of view, guys. There's nothing scientific about it, so you want some science, that ain't the video for you, so you shut her down. Anyways, to make a long story short, I believe there's some cases where you can tow when the cruise control on, and some you cannot. And this is how what I factor into the equation to figure out if I should do it or not. So, to prolong this is the way I view it, to prolong the life of your truck, you don't want it running at 100% capacity. So a lot depends on your tune and what you're running there. But let's just talk standard in a stock truck. Even a stock truck, if it's flat out open, like open throttle, you know, it's working. It's working hard, and it's working itself. Now, my idea is, you know, just work it at 80%. Just leave that 20% on the table. Don't juice it. So with that in mind, I like to enter the hills knowing what gear I'm going to make it up the hill. So two ways to approach a hill. The way I do it, if I'm light or in a hurry, I'll speed up a little bit before I hit the hill and get a feel for the truck. How does it pull in that gear? Well, if you tow on a daily basis, you know exactly how it's going to pull that hill with the weight and all the equation that you have on hand, the whole situation. Typically what happens is you'll accelerate up the hill, go for it. You see like you're starting to slow down on your XL going up the hill. I mean, we're talking from 60 to 65 kind of deal. So you accelerate and see how far you could hold it without really juicing on it. And right as you downshift, like do your little toggle downshifting, let off the throttle. The big thing is the transmission here. Let off throttle and downshift it. So if you were able to start in fifth, accelerate in fifth, and you're starting to slow down a little bit on your XL, you drop it in fourth, you should maintain that hill. So if you're light, you know, you put it in fourth, hold the gear for a few seconds, see that the truck can maintain that speed, no problem, set your cruise and let it run up there. That's how I do it when things are questionable. As far as, you know, I'm running, they're not questionable, but like capacity, it's over the 50% capacity. If the truck's meant to tow, let's say 20,000, and I'm pulling anything over 12, I guess it's a little bit more than 50%. You know, 12, it's probably not even 12, it's 15 is what I usually notice, that I like to do this whole foot thing and do my own downshifting. So it's more like 75%. Sure, that seems a little too high. Let's just stick to 60%. I think 60% is truly where it's at. So 60% capacity or higher, I start doing this manual hill climb, you know, cruise control killed kind of scenario. Getting the feel for the truck, what it can pull, manually downshifting it. So that's one way. Now, if you're solid, you know, 50% or less, so let's put that gray area for 10%. No, let's not leave any gray area. Let's just say 60% or less of your towing capacity, and you know your truck can tow, like I know mine can, and I'll just leave it in cruise. And I'll watch it. Sometimes it'll downshift a gear, sometimes it won't. And once again, guys, we're talking about hill climbs, we're talking about towing, we're talking about loaded kind of scenario. I'm not talking about just bobtailing, meaning no trailer, no load behind you. So 60% or less, typically truck pulls it and no problem with cruise control on. Exhaust brake at all times stay on. You know, cruise control or not, take your pick, auto or manual, but it's up there and it's doing its magic. So in a scenario where you're starting the hill and cruise, just watch it. Your biggest thing with cruise is your gearing. Your transmission is going to want to go up and down in some cases, and you got to stop it. These newer trucks, they're fairly smart, intelligent, whatever you want to call them, and they'll hold the gear for you in most cases. Sometimes they get a little confused. I'm particularly talking about 4th gens. I really haven't seen the 5th gen do it. That's when, you know, staying in cruise, you just reach over and downshift the gear or leave it in the gear when it's trying to decide between, let's just say, 4th and 5th. If it keeps driving or upshifting, downshifting, you know, as soon as it downshifts into 4th, just lock in a 4th, pull the hill, rest the way up in 4th, and then just upshift. So bottom line, those are two approaches. Get a feel for your truck, know it's gonna tow. If you feel like the truck could tow just fine and cruise, why stress it? Why worry about it? I mean, you're really not working anything. As I said, if you're up there in your capacity percentage, obviously your truck's going to start getting warmer, your truck's going to have a harder time, so you want to take over manually when you're really heavy. But you're on the lower parts of that percentage, in the high quote unquote 60-70%. You attempt on foot, get a feel for it, and set rest of the way and cruise. That's how I do it. That's my experience. No, nothing's going to happen to your truck. You ain't going to overheat it. But as long as I said, biggest thing, watch out that when you are in cruise, the truck's not jumping gears back and forth. Grab at the lower gear, set your RPMs right. I believe Cummins love the 22 mark, and just maintain that speed and go all the way up. Try not to excel. That's what I always try to do. Pulling a hill, maintain the speed. As I said, you could enter the hill trying to excel and get the feel for it, but that's about it. Do not pull. Don't be trying playing king of the hill. Start at 60, pull the hill at 100 kind of deal, or exit the hill at 100. Don't do that dumb stuff. Anyways, boys, that's about it. That's my experience. So go ahead, leave that cruise on if you're lighter weight. If you're that gray area, use your foot, get a feel for it, and lock it in cruise. There's no problem using cruise, except when the weather is slippery. Don't be dumb. Don't leave it in cruise. That's how you wreck. Best way to wreck. That's it. Weather permitting. That's it. There's no issue. The 4 gens are a little bit sloppier on engaging the exhaust brake. I think they allow the cruise to go when you're on cruise to go 5 miles over set cruise, and then it'll engage the cruise control. The 5th gens are a little bit more narrowed. I think it's 2 miles over. So for example, if you set it at 60, it'll kick it on at 62. The 5th gens, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. And the 4 gens are about like 65, and then they'll start churning on exhaust brake. Side note, I've answered this question before. Which exhaust brake do I run? Guys, I run manual in the city. Here, let me show you. Even now, I don't have anything behind my truck. That is your exhaust brake. You don't see anything behind my truck. Well, besides another truck driving behind me. I ain't pulling a trailer is what I'm trying to say. And then on the interstate, I like my auto setting on the exhaust brake. That's it, boys. Simple as that. As always, may the Lord bless you, and may y'all have a mighty fine day. Ciao. Bye.